There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.
Welcome to episode 77 of SYFY Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm Steve.
And I'm Sean Fangirl S. And tonight we'll be discussing episode 1 of season 2 of Wynonna Earp. Yay! I'm not excited it came back or anything.
No, not at all.
Obviously.
We've been waiting a long time to find out who got shot.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I still don't know. Just putting that out there. Well, we have 2 bits of news. Steve has ratings because Steve always finds ratings because he's awesome. But
all right,
go ahead because then we have a little one after that.
All right. This episode had a 0.09 in adults 18 to 49 and 0.462 million viewers, which brought it in as the 102nd overall cable show for Friday.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I totally forgot it was on Friday. For some reason, I kept thinking it was coming on Wednesday. And so, yes, I did not watch it live. I was not one of those people. But I will be in the 7-day.
Right.
I will be in the 7-day numbers.
Same with me. I'll be in the 7-day numbers, too.
But, I mean, I was glad it came back. I don't know why I had Wednesday stuck in my head. It's been one of those days, weeks, months, years, you know. So we kind of mentioned it before. We have a giveaway we're going to be doing. So watch our social media feeds so you can see on Twitter and Facebook. We're going to post how to win this. We have a signed poster of Wynonna Earp and then a little something extra that's going to go into the winner too. It's awesome. I love that they were so cool about it. So we have dolls. We have the mustache man himself, Doc, who, by the way, did not have his mustache at the time. Really weird looking at him that way, by the way.
I imagine so.
It's like, where did that go? And then we have our newcomer, who we met in this episode. We have Jeremy, which, if you're not sure which one it is, it's the guy in the lab coat, okay? So he's going to be making a lot more appearances. And then, of course, we have our fearless leaders, the writer and the director. So I'm super excited and a little bit jealous that I'm giving this away because it was so cool meeting them. But I think this is something that should go out to the fans, out there who are listening to us and have supported us through season 1 and are helping us push season 2 out there on Twitter. What do you think, Steve?
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. So just keep watching our social media feeds and you will see how to enter for our contest. All right. So shall we jump into episode 1 of season 2, which I was super excited about?
Let's do it.
All right. Steel bars and stone walls. The gun-wielding, whiskey-drinking, whip-slinging heroine returned to raise a little hell and rid her home of the supernatural evil that plagues it. But this time, she's not just facing resurrected demon outlaws. There are monsters the likes of which Wynonna has never imagined, and some of them she'll have to face sober. 7 astonishing cliffhangers, 42 blistering minutes to resolve them all. The consequences of Waverly's actions affect the entire team. Now, like I said, they recapped in the very beginning and they showed Waverly with the black eyes and shooting the gun. We still have no idea.
Oh, yeah, we do.
We do?
Yes.
Are you serious? Am I drawing a complete blank? Because I swear to you, I do not know who she shot.
No, she shot the monster. At the very beginning. She shot the monster, and then it started chasing her and Doc, and eventually Wynonna caught up to him and was able to put it down.
I must not have realized that was going, right into the season. I was thinking, they showed that cutaway from last season, and then, I didn't even put that together. I'm an idiot. oh, this is why you really need sleep, because caffeine does not help your brain function very well. Just little PSA there, boys and girls. Okay, so I there's so much to talk about, and seriously, the whole weird goo and black eye thing has still got me, like, scratching my head.
Yeah, there's a lot we don't know about what has creeped into Miss Waverly.
Okay, I don't. Let's just actually go in order, because, you know, you have it straight. You know I'm all over the place. So, Steve, take us in.
All right. After our wonderful monster-killing beginning, which was definitely unusual because it was a monster, and it didn't just fade into the ground like the Demon Outlaws did. So
That was weird, Mr. Teethy.
yeah, Soul Sucker.
I have a lot of teeth. That's all I gotta say.
Yes. So Wynonna gets back into town and starts trying to find out where they could have taken dolls. She finally runs into a motel room that looks like it could be dolls because there's a mini lab, but then she finds some women's clothing, and before she knows it, she's in a knockdown drag out with Eliza.
Yes, who, Wynonna herself. We have Melanie, I can't say her name, Scrofano?
Yeah.
She's like, well, you know, she looked really good in her underwear. I don't know if she made me self-conscious. I don't know how long I can be on screen with her, which I thought was hilarious that she's tweeting this out. I was like, this woman who looked so familiar, and it was just making me crazy. I'm like, why do I know who this actress is? And she's been in several things, and I'm going to be honest, like, the only thing that really jumps to mind was Lost Girl, another sci-fi show.
Right.
So I was looking through everything else, and I'm like, she's been in so much stuff, and I just feel like an idiot because it's like the only thing I know her from is Lost Girl. I don't know what it is, but she was awesome, and she was pretty kick-ass, and I don't know. I feel like that would have been kind of an awkward fight scene because she's fighting literally in her underwear.
Right.
And
But she's also climbing the walls, and
she's beating Wynonna's butt pretty good. It was pretty knockdown drag out until there was that moment when she grabs Wynonna's gun, and Wynonna's like, ha, I can't even say it. Joke's on you. It only works for me. But she pulled the trigger. Like, I had that moment, like, what if they're going to throw in another Earp sister for some reason?
Right.
And I kind of got scared. I mean, it was just that
brief second.
Fraction, yes. And I was like, oh, crap. Don't do that to us. I don't think any of us could take another Earp sister being thrown in the mix for any reason.
No. Seeing that we haven't got resolution on
Willa
yet.
Yeah, I'm like not very happy with that whole thing, but well, obviously neither is Wynonna, because that's brought up a little bit later, you know, that she hasn't slept or eaten or showered, even though it's only been like 24 hours, which right. I love that they did it that way too.
Yes.
That they didn't make it like, 3 weeks later, picking right up, I think was really great.
Yes, they did. That definitely needed to, with Waverly shooting somebody.
Yeah, well,
didn't know
like I said,
was.
I thought that was like, okay, that was last season, and I have no idea who it is. Dumbass. Yes, sorry, folks. I'm an idiot. So,
of course, over the course of the episode, I really enjoyed the back and forth between Wynonna and Eliza. It was absolutely fantastic the way they would snipe at each other. It was great fun.
I thought it was great, and I was like, oh, cool, so we're going to have another member of the Scooby Gang. Well.
Yeah.
It was really interesting to find out that she had worked with dolls. We find out later that she is like dolls.
Right, and that Black Badge did this to them, which I thought was huge.
Right. So it makes me wonder, what did they do? Because when we had learned anything last season, I assumed that Dolls was some kind of monster or whatever, right. And that he was trying to keep it under control, and that this was something he always was, basically.
Right.
And then,
not.
No, this little bombshell right there, it's like, wait, she's saying that this was done to them? What the heck?
Right.
Oh, it's crazy. And
what did the Scooby Gang do by signing in blood?
oh my God, that freaked me out. I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm.
I read way too much of like, do you know what a witch can do with your blood? No. And they didn't even read the contract. But the fact that Eliza was like, don't sign anything, and they didn't even look at it, I'm like, I mean, I kind of understand because of the situation that they were in at that moment. They weren't really given any choice.
Right.
But still, I'm like, this isn't good. This isn't good.
Good. This definitely could go horribly wrong in the future.
And why did we get that addition to the Scooby Gang, which we'll get to, who had to sign in blood, who really had zero to do with any of this?
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, that's one way to bring a character in. So I liked the fact that they had this character who, yeah, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched, why are you listening to us? But
exactly.
She's only in this one episode. That is all she's listed for in her credit.
Right.
So we are not going to get any kind of flashback then. We're not going to get any, oh, she survived it, because she was shot. And they don't show you where, but I'm assuming it was a kill shot, because she wasn't moving.
Yeah. Probably right between the eyes.
Yeah, I mean, all we see is blood on Wynonna's face. And, you know, when our little gang down there is signing, and they ask, does anybody else know? I don't think Wynonna was going to give any other names, but do you think it was better that she just followed Waverly's lead there?
That is really hard to say. I can see why Waverly didn't want to include Nicole in the group, trying to keep her safe.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you know, we see what happens later on after it happens, Nicole just goes back to town
yeah.
and just leaves them there.
Well, the other thing is we learned early in the episode, too, that Sheriff Nedley, he pretty much knows. I don't think he knows the exact of everything that's going on, but he knows enough to know that he, A, needs to keep his mouth shut, and B, help watch Wynonna's back.
Right.
So, I mean, they could have said both of them, but I don't think they wanted anybody involved that didn't have to, 100% have to be involved, yeah.
Right. Oh, most definitely.
Especially not knowing what the heck they're doing with this stupid contract signed in blood. And when they're told, okay, well, you're going to be patrolling the Ghost Triangle indefinitely. It's like, I don't like the way that sounds.
No.
Just because there's way too much stuff that we've seen just in passing that they had squirreled away down there that said Black Badge and everything. I mean, they had that crazy toothy monster who was a soul sucker, and there was a live one. How did you catch one alive? And then, actually, what I thought was more creepy was the weird black and white little girl next to him. She looked like kind of like a faded old photo. Like, I don't know if you caught that. I swear. And I'm like, okay, it's got to be like a ghost or something weird, or you're looking innocent, but probably not.
Well, and I was awful curious about the thing in the box that reached out its hand to grab the TNT that Doc.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
And stuck its long fingernail in there and caused it to blow up. But that looked just from seeing the hand, that scared the crap out of me.
Right. I'm like, oh, that's not good. And I feel like it knew that it was unstable to, go ahead and like just make a little spark to go boom. The only way it was getting out. Now, instantly I was thinking, well, we do have a witch over in the salt flat, but I don't remember her having weird hands like that, so.
No.
I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm nervous. So we will, now that we've kind of jumped all over just talking about, because they were all over. But yes, sorry, Eliza, you were great information and fun while you lasted, but I mean, immediately, and I think she had to know this somewhere deep down, when Dolls got caught, Eliza being his partner had to know that her credentials were going to get pulled. Because she's like, hey, I know where they are, let's go. And I have credentials. Okay, I try to use them and, oh, it's not working and we're trapped.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, they had to be expecting her because, well, and that was the whole thing about this is we actually got some Doll's backstory that we didn't know, that he actually had to try to save people in the Middle East, and he did save Eliza, but because of what he did, we also found out why Lakudo had it out for him so bad. Because her husband died in that same attack.
She was such a pain in the butt, though.
Yes. Oh, my God. She was a massive pain in the ass.
Yes. Because she was just so, like, vengeful. Yeah. Because she just wanted to kill him. And, later she's like, I want my face to be the last thing you see. Just, come on. You had to know you're sending your people into places that they could die. But you're mad because he came back.
Right.
Now, granted, that is something completely plausible. And obviously it happens in war. But, man, she was like a whole nother level. And what worried me, and this is going to sound a little weird, when we have the person who apparently is her boss come on scene and kind of doesn't even raise his voice.
Right.
Just like, oh, we have to have a talk about not following the rules. And like she's shaking. I was like, oh God, what does this mean?
Right. And before, when he shoots the gun, you don't know who got shot.
Right. I thought it was going to be her.
Yeah, so did I. I was not expecting it to be Eliza. I was expecting it to be Lakudo.
I was surprised. But this new character, who I don't know how much we're going to see of him, but his name is Moody.
Yeah, I don't believe we will see a lot of him. I don't think he'll be in every episode, that's for sure.
Well, Mr. Moody
is someone Sean and I know quite well due to another show that is wrapping up this season on BBC America entitled Orphan Black.
Yeah, maybe you heard of it. Mr. Kevin Hanchard. I'm pretty excited that he's going to be on it, only because whenever we see one show ending and we have a character we're like, what is he going to be on? Although, honestly, he's only being listed as one episode in this as well. I don't know if it's maybe because it's so early and we've only had one episode. Who knows?
Right. It very well could be.
But the fact that everybody was like, oh, crap. And he was just really calm about everything. And it's like, yeah, you guys need to sign that. You're patrolling and any other names you want to give up. It's like when you just see him kill somebody that was one of his own, he makes another one of his own people sign your contract in blood as well. Yeah, that's probably not a guy to screw around with.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the bad guys on Orphan Black.
Oh, he's carrying over. Is that what it is? I hope that's not where his character is going in Orphan Black, but...
Yeah, well, we also saw him on The Expanse, but only for 2 episodes, and then they killed his character off, so hopefully we'll get Kevin a little bit longer.
I hope so. Oh, man. So, we were hinting all about Waverly and Hot.
Yes.
Because Hot's like, I'm part of the team. He deputized me. Okay, great. You're going to help us out. We need to figure out what we're going to do, how we get dolls back. You go try to find the Revenants. And she's all like, yay, I'm part of the team. And I've just felt like she's a little too happy. It still had me worried because I know we talked about it last season, how I was afraid she was some kind of plant.
Right.
And when she was really happy like that, I'm like, I'm worried again.
Yes. She's going to be the one that's going to find out first. She's going to be the one that first finds out that Waverly isn't quite right.
Right.
She already found that out. Waverly kisses her and she says, you don't taste right.
Oh, that messed me up.
Wow. What the heck is going on here?
I was like, whoa. She doesn't taste right? That's not something I was expecting anybody to say, first of all. Yeah. And it's like, what's she taste like? Does she taste like death? What is it?
Right.
Freaking me out. I don't know. But
yeah, it wasn't appealing, that's for sure.
And then when they're in the barn with the dead thing And all of a sudden, she's like looking at the guns and she's looking at this and she's talking to Waverly, but Waverly picks up an axe and she's like, oh, that's not the plan. And she like lifts the axe over her head. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? I had a real hard time tweeting because of these moments. I'm like, oh, like my hands are flailing. Like, what are you doing? Go now. I had doubts, but don't cut her head off. That's not what happened, obviously.
Right. But yeah, because we still don't know about whatever this thing that is controlling Waverly is in Waverly.
Yeah, I think it's something that's in her.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem to be controlling her all the time, but it seems to come out when it's needed the most.
Right, because her eyes go black right before that. And I'm like, oh, God. Okay, what is this? Yeah. And we see that later, too, because, their quote-unquote plan B is for...
Which turns into plan C.
Yeah. Waverly to get in. Pretend she's from Scotland Yard, which I thought was hilarious. And I love everyone's like, that is the worst accent ever. And then I'm like, is she really like... Oh, yeah, she's really from Britain.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, she really is from over there, isn't she? I figured that's what it was, and that's even funnier, because she's really from Bristol, England. Wow, guys. That's kind of a thing, though, when we never hear them talk in, like, their original accent. You're like, that's so fake.
Right.
Like, no, that's really what they sound like, yeah. But I love that little, like, oh, I'm from Scotland Yard. Do you think I'd be here? Do you think I'd know this secret place if I wasn't really from Scotland Yard? It's like, well, you know what they say. People get into places they're not supposed to be because they act like they're supposed to be there.
Exactly.
She did a pretty good act.
And I loved how Jeremy was total nerd.
And completely oblivious to everything.
Yes, completely oblivious, because Waverly was basically trying to get his attention to look elsewhere.
Super flirting.
Yes, with the pen and the blouse, and Jeremy didn't even notice it.
Right. I was like, oh. I was like, maybe you've lost your touch. I don't know.
And then she bangs him in the head with the gun.
Oh, I felt bad for him, because then he's like, ow.
What'd you do that for?
We're not supposed to bleed in here. And I was like, oh, crap. And seriously, I was thinking it was that weird little girl thing.
Right.
Although, did you notice there was also like a weird alien egg kind of thing?
Yes. There was a lot of strange stuff in there.
There wasn't a ton, though, and
not a ton, but what was in there was really weird.
I want like a 360 of that room. I want to be able to go and look at. Come on, SYFY, make that happen.
Oh, well, there's supposed to be a Nicole Hott journal.
Really?
Yes, on SYFY, where she's taking notes and writing things down this season. So I think that'll be a little bit of our inside information from SYFY.
Oh, that'll be cool. Well, like we said, poor Hott. Waverly's inside. They managed to figure out, how they're going to get everybody loose, because after she bashes poor Jeremy in the head, she's like, I need to get them out. Will you help? He's like, okay. Probably could have asked instead of just bashing him in the head, but poor kid. But we have our way out. And well, what happens? We have Doc deciding to leave Wynonna where she is. And he's like, I'm going to go get dolls. You stay here. It's like, she's still locked in. I don't understand why this is better. I guess the upstairs was unlocked, but I don't know. It just seemed weird. And like we said, poor Hott, because she hears this later when our little Scooby gang is forced to sign a contract that we have no idea what the consequences are.
Right.
And Waverly's like, nobody else is part of this. And she just looked so hurt.
Oh, yes. Extremely hurt.
And she does say it later. She's like, well, they could have made it official if you told them about me. But we don't know that. And I feel like Waverly and Wynonna totally were in the right here. Why bring somebody in, make them sign this contract that we don't know what the consequences are? Make them, basically have a spotlight on them. Because if anything is wrong, they're going to just it's more people that they can basically use against you.
Right.
So I think personally that they were in the right to basically not let them know about Officer Hott.
I totally agree.
But yeah, she just seemed so hurt, and later she's just like, she wouldn't even kiss Waverly. I'm like, wow.
No, she turned the cheek away and then said she had so much paperwork to do, so she was going into the office.
That's rough. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when your significant other is mad at you and they do that, they're like, no, I'm fine. And it's like, oh, crap.
Yeah. This is going to be mission impossible to find out what's wrong.
In case you guys don't know, when a woman says, no, it's fine, it's not. It takes some people a while to figure that out. So, Steve and I just want to help you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Hot. Do we think Way Hot's still going to happen, though?
I think in the end it will, but I think it's going to take a while before it does. We still got to get Waverly's inner whatever it is exposed and gotten out of her. And I'm not sure how much Nicole will be able to deal with that and how long it may or may not take to get there, to get old Waverly back.
Interesting.
Yeah, because when Waverly told Doc that she felt strong, that whole conversation with Doc really kind of hit me as this isn't our normal Waverly talking.
Mm-hmm.
She's much more, nothing else, they can call it aggressive.
Yeah.
Self-confident. Just, she feels strong because she got a little something.
Something's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say in the previews that we've seen for next episode, which let me tell you, when I went to the panel, the guys were all like, yeah, we get to see Waverly in a cheerleader's outfit.
Really?
Like they were all super excited. So yeah, that
Right.
was Dolls, Doc, and Jeremy. Not in character. They're like, this is a good episode. You guys have to. Yeah. But like just her whole attitude there. And it was just in like a 10-second clip, if that.
Right.
And you can just see how different she is. So it worries me what's happening to her. But I mean, I feel like really Way Hot has to survive, because how are you going to have it like a total of 3 episodes, 4 episodes?
Right.
If they're going to do that, they might as well just killed her off.
Oh, we're going to have another co-fiend on our hands.
Yeah.
Let's hope not.
What everybody who loves to hate. Okay. And like we said, we were introduced to Jeremy, who's our newest cast member. For real, he's in more than just an episode.
Yes.
Varun Saranga, who, again, in the panel I was in, he was introduced as, he's the new guy, which we can't tell you anything about. And then they were joking, he's a lizard guy who's actually, he split off from a hair that was part of dolls. It's like, they were just being like completely ridiculous.
Right.
And then they were talking about like costuming. And he's like, I have a lab coat. He's like, pretty much I just wear whatever. And then they're like, here's your lab coat. I feel bad for him because it's like, he doesn't have like, look at Wynonna's got the jacket and the cool gun and Doc had his hat. Well, he did.
Right.
I hope he gets another hat because it is awkward. He keeps reaching up to like touch his hat. He's like, there's no hat. Dolls.
Everybody made a comment.
Right?
I mean, everybody. Dolls. Wynonna.
Everybody has something. And then you have poor Jeremy's like, I have a lab coat. So I'm hoping he gets something like super awesome. I don't know. Maybe he'll just be our super awesome geeky lab coat guy, but.
Yeah, he seems, the information that he was discussing with Waverly was more on an IT level, but I really kind of think he's probably more a biologist than an IT guy. So he may be a all-around super nerd.
So we're going to have our tech support.
Right.
All right. Well, I guess we need something.
Yeah. Not a time-traveling tech support, but...
Because I don't know what's going to happen, because we did see Dolls. Oh, let's go back to Doc and Dolls. I kind of went all crazy and passed them up.
Right.
Doc goes to save Dolls, and like you said, Dolls is like, where's your hat? Everybody just with the hat. But Doc was kind of badass, and I was not expecting this, and I don't think anybody else knew this was happening.
No.
Because...
No, this was all him on his own.
All of a sudden, you have Licato, who, being super jerk, she's like, I can just kill you. And he's like, oh, we're not supposed to have guns in here. He's like, I break the rules. And he's like, okay. So he's like, do you mind if I smoke? And then slowly opens his jacket like, oh, let me just stretch a second. Do you see this dynamite? That's really old dynamite. We'll all go boom. And I love that she's like, well, you'll kill yourselves and dolls. And he's like, I'll take you out though. I mean,
That's right.
And does she? Oh wait, no, she actually does not know that Doc is Doc, right? Because Dolls has kept that from her.
I believe that is true.
Okay, so she doesn't know that Doc can't die right now.
Right.
Oh, okay, that explains a lot more too for me. But I'm glad she doesn't know because I don't like her.
Yeah.
So, thankfully, Doc.
Yeah, Doc does keep Dolls from killing her, though.
Yes, thankfully.
Yes.
Well, I don't know, because later on it's like, was that a good move? I started to question that after a little bit.
Well, I guess it's Moody probably doesn't have any people that he has to, well, I'm sure there's a board above him, but him killing Eliza is probably much easier to explain than Dolls killing his superior.
Okay.
You know, like Doc said, they would come after him with a vengeance if he would have killed Lakuto.
But Doc does not have more than, a little tiny bit of Doll's serum, which
right.
he just puts in his eye, which is weird. So what does this mean for Dolls then? Because he's not part of the Scooby Gang in regards to the contract.
Right.
So, I mean, is he just on the run? Is he never going to get the serum? What is going on?
Well, I expect he will be hanging around and helping out as he can while still trying to stay under the radar. I mean, he had that portable lab in the motel room, whether it was Eliza's room or his room or their room, we don't know, and who knows, maybe he's had a breakthrough on what exactly that serum was that he was getting from Black Badge that kept him under control, and maybe he can start duplicating it himself. Or that's where Jeremy will come in.
Oh, see, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that would be a good thing for Jeremy to work on to start with, that's for sure.
All right, Jeremy, get on that.
Yeah.
Because, of course, you're listening to us right now.
Save our dolls.
Let me see. We also had Wynonna drop that necklace and key.
Right.
But, surprisingly, or not surprisingly, however you want to look at it, Dolls ends up returning that to her to let her know that she's alive. Or he's alive.
Yeah.
She knows she's alive. Why do you think Doc did not tell Wynonna whatever Dolls whispered in his ear? Because we don't know what it is either.
No, we still don't know what Doc knows about Dolls that nobody else does. And there's no telling what he told Doc. Probably something about his condition that, yeah, he's probably going to turn and become something else and won't go back to Dolls until he gets serum.
Well, I mean, he said to tell her. And, I mean, Doc's like, yeah, okay. Which we've seen Doc not be all on the up and up before.
Right.
But I feel like this is probably more to save Wynonna, and her feelings and everything. So she's on track. So maybe you're right that it's, hey, I'm going to turn into this thing. And that's why he didn't really talk to her. He just he left her necklace, which was at the edge of the homestead too.
Right.
Which kind of had me thinking, why didn't he come on the homestead? And then when you see him and Wynonna does come out because he manages to get the necklace or whatever to flash her in the window and make her come out to him, he's crying.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, what does this mean? Why did he not come on? Or, are they watching? And that's why he doesn't want to get close. I mean, there's so many questions I have with that.
Right. Just like we have so many questions with Waverly's condition. We have no idea what this is. And we have no idea what Dolls is going to become. And if it's permanent or not.
You're killing me, Steve. I have more questions. Well, I don't think... I don't know how I'm going to put this in words. We know the homestead is guarded, right?
Right. It's a safe place.
But
that was just from...
Revenant.
Wyant's Revenant. The evil that's got... The monsters that have gotten in, I don't think that is going to stop them at all.
See, that's what I was wondering. If whatever this evil is that's come through, if that can get in there, if dolls really can't come onto the homestead, if that's why he was standing outside of it.
Right.
Because we also had the witch last season had come onto the homestead with her boys that she kind of put together.
Right.
Well, no, she started to. I don't know. I'm confused now because, I don't know how to put that. But, so yeah, I don't feel like all evil is going to be blocked, but I don't know how much evil is going to be blocked and how safe they're going to be.
Right. And how the heck does Moody already know how to break the Earp curse?
It's lies. It's manipulation.
Yeah, it's got to be. Got to be.
That's all I can think it is. I don't know.
I agree. Sure seems that way because he's spent the whole time that she's been working with dolls trying to figure out a way to break her curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, not buying.
Probably a way to work for him in Black Badge.
Right.
Okay, so this was a crazy episode. We jumped all around. I know you're so surprised, right? So welcome back, Earpers.
Yes. Glad to have you back.
Yes.
And we're glad to be back talking Wynonna Earp.
I am so excited. So, for those of you who...
And we got 2 extra episodes.
Yes, that's so awesome. And they were so excited when they announced it. Those of you who don't know, we did change our podcast feed. We are still on iTunes. We're on Spreaker. We're on Podbean. You'll, of course, find us on our website and then wherever else you might be listening to this. So I know there was a little problems with iTunes, so hopefully you're still finding us everywhere. But
and you subscribe to us on iTunes, then your feed's just fine.
Yes.
There's no issues.
But please rate and review us wherever you're finding us, because good ratings help other fans of the show, find us. We want to hear from you and your friends and your crazy ideas and what you think is happening. Don't forget to email us at fangirlzonepodcast@gmail.com. Check out our website. Like I said earlier in the episode, don't forget to check out our social media feeds. Twitter is at fangirlzone. It is at Sean forgetting everything because this is a really bad day.
Yeah, at FGZ Podcast.
Thank you. Oh, I'd forget my head if it wasn't attached, guys. Wow. Facebook is FG Zone. This is why I screw it up. Because they're so similar and yet so different. But you can always go to www.fangirlzone.com and our contact page, and it's actually right there. And then you won't hear me just stumbling over my own thoughts because I'm kind of doofus today. And every day, let's not lie. It's one of those, lifetimes. We'll just put it that way. All right. So, for the first episode of Season 2 of Wynonna Earp, I am Sean Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve. What the portable travel lab cross-dressing hell?
Until next time.